Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the iPad Mini 7. Yes, a device that I don't think deserves the name iPad Mini 7. This does not feel like the seventh generation of an iPad Mini. And I'm going to get into the reasons why because of the spec sheet, okay? And I do like the fact that they tried to do some color variation as they did with the AirPods Pro Max as well, right? Because I don't think Apple's calling those AirPods Pro Max 2. I think it's just more of a refresh, which is more fitting for the AirPods Pro Max because it was very, very small, iterative, incremental updates, really just USB-C, right? They really didn't do much else with the AirPods Pro Max. So now when you consider the iPad Mini 7, why are they calling it the seventh generation when really all they did was more or less refresh the specs and it's still largely the same iPad. So that's what we're gonna get into in this video right here. And the first thing we're gonna get to, as you guys kind of see some of these images kind of cycling through in terms of the iPad Mini, because they didn't even change the wallpaper for the iPad Mini 7. No new wallpapers. It's the same exact wallpapers from the iPad Mini 6. So again, it's like Apple, you guys are getting really lazy with your hardware, with your updates, your upgrades, with your efforts. You guys are starting to slack off, and it's kind of unfortunate to see because although the iPhone 16 looks really good, that looks like you guys actually put some effort into changing what that looks like, gave us some really good, nice, vibrant colors. When you look at the totality of the hardware that they've released this year, there hasn't really been anything that truly stands out. Even with camera control, with the iPhone 16 lineup as a whole, it's not something that a lot of people is really probably going to use like that. Audio mix for sure, but the rest of the updates just don't really seem impactful enough for a true upgrade. And so now connecting back to the iPad Mini 7, let's look at why this does not feel like an iPad Mini 7. And the first thing we're going to do is you guys see me reading off of my Z Fold 6. They brought Apple Intelligence, and that's because of the A17 Pro chip from the iPhone 15 Pro that they have now installed into the iPad Minis, which gives it more life and more long-term software support because of Apple Intelligence's integration. And so it's good to see that they brought that to the iPad Mini. We needed a new chip. It's been 3 years with the iPad Mini, so we needed that chip. We needed something for it to actually feel better overall. But one of the things they did not change was the screen, at least that we know of so far. Now, as reviews start to roll out, we will see and or hear if that jelly scrolling effect is still there, or is it there just reoriented in a different form factor, whether or not you have it in portrait mode as opposed to landscape. So that's something that we're going to be looking at as well. But they didn't change the screen. They didn't give it OLED. They didn't do nothing with the screen. It's the same exact 8.3-inch size iPad Mini, just with some few internal upgrades. And so I've already listed one with Apple Intelligence and A17 Pro chip for the iPad Mini. The next thing they did was bump the storage size up, which is very smart. It is now 128 gigs minimum, and that's really all I personally need for an iPad Mini. Because I'm kind of back with Android, I do use a MacBook Pro to edit my content and to run as my laptop. But I think an iPad Mini would be the perfect companion device to my MacBook Pro and as something that I can watch that's a little bit bigger than my Z Fold 6 when I'm at home to watch content while I'm playing video games or just in general. I can use my iPad Mini for something like that, and I don't always have to use my Z Fold 6. My Z Fold 6's form factor is really built for out of the house use, meaning when I'm elsewhere, when I'm out and about, grab my Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, boom, pop them in, and I'm good to go. With the iPad Mini, it's something very much more stationary, note-takey like. Maybe I use it when it comes to my Christian meetings, but overall, it is a device that I don't really have to worry too much about because again, it's very purposeful with that size. And so when you consider 128 gigabytes, that's all I need because it's not going to house a lot of storage. And most definitely for you guys, it's probably going to be the same way. Apple Pencil Pro support. That is something that is also here now with the iPad Mini. And I guess that is good considering the A17 Pro chip. When you consider the form factor in which the Mini is, people still use this iPad to sketch and draw on, to write on. And so when you consider those use cases, having the Pro Pencil is probably perfect for the iPad Mini. And I think that was also smart because it also allows for another pencil outside of the Apple Pencil USB-C. Now you have the Pro support. So I think that's also good for the iPad mini to have that Pro Pencil support. I know for myself personally, I don't do a lot of drawing like that, and writing would be kind of interesting if I did use it as a note-taking device, but I don't need the Pro Pencil support. I just need a simple USB-C support, or maybe even the Apple Pencil 2. I mean, that if that was compatible, I would also like that one for the iPad mini. Wi-Fi 6E is now the standard on the iPad, giving you much better network connectivity when it comes to iPad mini. That's something that I think we all should be standardized with now at minimum. Wi-Fi 6E. I know Wi-Fi 7 is the new standard, but having Wi-Fi 6E support is definitely smart, because depending on where you have this iPad used, streaming data, especially when you consider, entertainment when it comes to your streaming apps, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, the list goes on and on, Disney Plus. You have a lot of apps like that that are data hungry, that need that's trying to push that data through. And so having Wi-Fi 6E will definitely give you those capabilities. Now, keep in mind, you do need a router at your home or in your location that also supports the Wi-Fi 6E standard to be pushing out that kind of data for your iPad to then be able to support it. So keep that in mind as well when it comes to Wi-Fi 6E or any standard. When it comes to Wi-Fi, you have to have a router or something that also actually supports that standard to push out that data for your iPad to then be able to take advantage of it. Smart HDR4 for the 12 megapixel rear camera, meaning they did some bumping up to the camera support on the iPad mini. I would like to know down in the comment section below, who uses the iPad mini for anything of that nature? Do you use your iPad mini to take a lot of pictures? I mean, for me, maybe I would from time to time, but nothing that I would really take serious or prioritize. Most people use their phones or an actual camera to take pictures. I know you got your, soccer moms and dads, as you were, the sports parents that might use their tablet to record and or shoot some footage. But overall, I don't think this is a big deal when it comes to the iPad mini 7. And then you got a new Smart Folio keyboard for the iPad mini, which might be a first, having a Smart Folio keyboard. I don't think I would need that. I think I would just use a regular Folio case, a Smart Folio case, just for coverage and for minimal protection. The keyboard is interesting considering it's only 8 inches. You're looking at kind of like a cramped space to do a lot of typing on. So let me know down in the comment section below about that as well. Would you use the keyboard on the iPad mini? And then the starting price point is $500, which to me actually is a decent sweet spot for the iPad mini. I mean, I would even probably argue $450, considering they didn't do a lot with it. And this is, again, when you total up these, small iterative upgrades, this is not an iPad mini 7 to me. This is an iPad mini 6th generation refresh, where it just needed some updated internals, and the real update for the iPad mini will come around 2026, 2027. That's something that I'm looking forward to. So let me know down in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this is worthy to be called an iPad mini 7? Or do you think this is an iPad mini 6 and Apple is just, again, kind of being lazy with some of their upgrades? And we really kind of see this with Apple and Samsung, unfortunately, where we see small iterative updates kind of dragging their feet. And this is also why their sales aren't really all that good, because they're not actually pushing the needle in the way that they should for our money's worth, right? So the comment section is open for discussion. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell, so all free that way for videos, so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. And don't forget to hit that super thanks button down there by the like and dislike button, Cash App and PayPal, and check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's where to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. Man, Micah signing out until the next video. Wait for it.